The class beauty, Zhou Nian, bought 200 fluorescent orange marking pencils and distributed them desk by desk. College entrance exam grading is done by machine scanning. Fluorescent colors are more visible and help the scanner prioritize recognition. She stood at the podium, her voice as sweet as melted sugar. My uncle told me this. He was on the grading committee last year. The whole class erupted. Nian Nian's uncle is on the grading committee. That's insane. No wonder Nian Nian always scores so high on mock exams. She's got the fluorescent pen secret. I stared at the fluorescent orange pencil in my hand, remembering my past life. In my past life, I questioned it on the spot, saying the exam rules required 2B pencils, and fluorescent pens weren't allowed. I ran to report it to the grade director, who urgently notified the whole class to switch back to 2B pencils. Everyone took the exam normally, no one got in trouble, only Zhou Nian secretly used the fluorescent pen, which the machine flagged as invalid, giving her 0 points on all objective questions. She cried, saying she'd tested it and it worked, that her uncle said it was fine. Later, the truth came out. Her uncle was just a temp on the grading committee, clueless about the technical rules. Zhou Nian broke down and jumped off the school rooftop. She didn't die, but her spine snapped, leaving her paralyzed for life. The whole class blamed me for her paralysis. If you hadn't reported her, Nian Nian wouldn't have been punished, wouldn't have been pushed to jump. You're just jealous she's prettier and richer than you. You wanted to destroy her. On graduation trip day, they cornered me in the dorm bathroom, turned the shower to full blast, and slammed my head into the tiles. I died. The coroner ruled it an accidental fall causing intracranial hemorrhage. No one was held accountable. When I opened my eyes again, Zhou Nian was pressing that fluorescent orange pencil into my hand. Ruoi, try this one. It glides like butter, super smooth. I looked at her face, free of any shadow, and gripped the pencil tight. Sure, thanks, Nian Nian. This time, I won't report it. I'll watch you all, the whole class, paint yourselves into a 0-score abyss. 1. Nian Nian, did your uncle really work on the grading committee? Class monitor Lin Xiao was the first to stand up, his eyes full of trust. Zhou Nian smiled, pulled a photo of a work ID from her bag, and flashed it around. He spent 20 days at the Provincial Grading Center last year, personally grading over 3,000 answer sheets. He said the scanning step is key, and the machine is most sensitive to fluorescent colors. The photo clearly showed a work ID with an official stamp, the name blurred out, but the words, Grading Committee, were crystal clear. The classroom atmosphere shifted instantly, not doubt, excitement. Holy shit, inside info. If this is real, our class could all score an extra 20 to 30 points. Nian Nian, you're our savior. Zhou Nian blushed, waving her hand. Don't exaggerate. I just think our class has great vibes, so why not share something good? She pulled out 2 more boxes of fluorescent pens from her backpack, orange, pink, and neon green. Line them up. I bought 3 colors. Pick your favorite. Girls can use pink, guys orange, and if you want something flashy, go neon green. Zhou Nian had transferred from the provincial capital. Her dad was in real estate. Her mom ran a chain of beauty salons. Her family was disgustingly rich. On her first day at our county's No. 1 high school, she dropped a line the whole class remembered for 3 years. My uncle said county kids aren't lacking in IQ, they're lacking in information. From then on, she was our class's go-to info source. What stage to do which practice sets, which teachers' mock exams were accurate, what direction the essay might take this year. We all listened to her, and she had some chops, steady in the top 20 of the grade on mock exams. Not the best, but impressive among county kids. So when she said fluorescent pens were better for scanning, no one questioned it. Homeroom teacher Mr. Li happened to pass by the back door and glanced in. Zhou Nian, what event are you organizing now? Zhou Nian held up a fluorescent pen, her voice crisp. Mr. Li, I'm buying marking pencils for everyone, for the college entrance exam. Mr. Li frowned. Doesn't the exam require standard 2B pencils? My uncle says fluorescent colors have a higher machine recognition rate. He told me himself last year on the grading committee. Zhou Nian blinked, her tone as firm as a 17-year-old's could be. Mr. Li opened his mouth, as if to say something, but glanced at the Cartier watch on Zhou Nian's wrist and swallowed his words. Fine, do what you want, just don't let it affect your studies. He left. I watched his back, recalling the details from my past life. Teacher Li actually knew something was wrong, but he didn't dare to intervene. Because Zhou Nian's mother donated a teaching building to the school, and her name was carved on the stone monument at the entrance. Who would want to offend the moneybags? In my past life, when I went to the academic affairs office to report it, the grade director did step in. He told the whole class to switch back to 2B pencils and even held a short meeting to emphasize exam rules. Zhou Nian pretended to agree on the surface, but secretly hid her fluorescent pen in her pencil case and used it. During the exam, the result, 0 points. Her mom came to the school and caused a scene for 3 days, threatening to sue the provincial exam board, claiming the rules were unfair and that her daughter was being targeted. What happened next? Later, Zhou Nian jumped off the rooftop, broke her spine, and ended up in a wheelchair for life. And me, I was pinned down by the whole class on the bathroom floor, my head smashed against the tiles. When I died, the faucet was still running, hot water streaming over my face, mixing with blood as it flowed into the drain. I heard Lin Xiao say, "She deserved it." Who told her to meddle? I heard the class monitor, Meng Yu, say, "If anything happens to Nian Nian, I'll never forgive her." I heard my best friend, Su Qing, say, "Ruai really went too far this time." I died, not a single tear was shed. Now, I'm sitting in the classroom, with that fluorescent orange marking pencil in front of me. The pen body is pretty, with a matte finish, and it writes smoothly. I rub the barrel with my thumb, and the corners of my mouth slowly curl up. Zhou Nian turns around to look at me. "Ruai, why aren't you saying anything? Don't you like orange? Want to switch to pink?" "No need, orange is fine." I put the pen into my pencil case, my tone light. "Nian Nian, thank you. Without you, how would we know about this inside info?" Zhou Nian nods contentedly and turns back to hand out pens to the classmates behind her. Su Qing leans over from the side, lowering her voice to ask me, "Ruai, do you think this is reliable?" I feel a bit uneasy. Su Qing, my best friend from my past life, in that life, she was the first to accuse me of meddling. On the day of the graduation trip, she was the one who suggested that guest house. She said the bathroom there was big, perfect for everyone to play in the water. She didn't know I would die there, or maybe she did. I look away and smile at her. Nian Nian's uncle is on the grading committee. Would she lie to us? Su Qing hesitates, then nods. Yeah, Nian Nian never screws us over. She pulls a fluorescent pink marking pencil from my case and doodles on scratch paper. Wow, it's really smooth, right? I lower my head and keep flipping through my English notes too. The news spreads faster than I expected. The next morning during self-study, the PE monitor from the next class comes over to borrow a marking pencil, saying he wants to test the feel. Zhou Nian generously gives him one and tells him, "Make sure to tell your classmates, everyone should use fluorescent pens to boost scores together." The PE monitor thanks her profusely and leaves. Within a week, the entire senior year knows about the secret to boosting scores with fluorescent pens. Someone posts on the forum, "Is it really okay to use fluorescent marking pencils for the college entrance exam?" Someone replies below, "Our classmate Zhou Nian said so. Her uncle is on the grading committee. Inside info, believe it or not." Another reply, "The guy above is right. Machine recognition is essentially optical scanning. Fluorescent colors have higher reflectivity, so theoretically, there is an advantage." A third reply, "Really? Then I'm buying one tomorrow." No one questions why the authorities never mention it. No one checks the provincial exam board's marking guidelines. No one thinks, if fluorescent pens really worked, why are billions of 2B pencils still being produced nationwide? Doesn't matter. What matters is what Zhou Nian says. Zhou Nian is rich. Zhou Nian is pretty. Zhou Nian's uncle worked on the grading committee. That's enough. On Wednesday afternoon, Zhou Nian runs another marking simulation. She has everyone use fluorescent pens to fill in a practice answer sheet from last year's exam, then uses her phone to download a scan recognition app to test the results. Look, they all got recognized. She holds her phone up high, and the screen shows that every answer bubble was successfully read. The whole class applauds. Nian Nian is amazing. Now I'm relieved. I sit in the corner, staring at the app interface, almost laughing out loud. That app is called Smart Scan King, a startup project her own family invested in. With less than 5,000 downloads, she's testing it with her own app. How could it not work? But I said nothing. Su Qing leaned over. "Ruai, do you want to try it too?" "No. I trust Nian Nian." I slid the highlighter into the innermost layer of my pencil case. 3 days before the college entrance exam, the school organized the final full mock test. The Academic Affairs Office handed out a stack of new answer sheets, claiming they were the same model as the real exam. Zhou Nian stood at the podium, holding that fluorescent orange pen, and said to the whole class, "For this mock test, everyone use fluorescent pens to fill in the bubbles. Get used to the feel early, so you won't be nervous during the real exam." The whole class responded in unison. On the night the mock test ended, Zhou Nian sent a long voice message in the class group chat. Babes. My uncle just called me. He said this year, the Provincial Grading Center introduced new high-speed scanners. Their sensitivity to fluorescent colors is 40% higher than regular 2B, 40% higher. Babes, what does that mean? Same answers. Our papers get scanned clearer. Multiple choice questions could even get an extra 2 points for impression. The group chat exploded instantly. Whoa, 40%. For real, if Nian Nian's uncle said it, it's gotta be true. I already bought 2 boxes of fluorescent pens. I'm bringing 3 spares for the real exam. Nian Nian, you're the savior of our whole class. I also sent a sticker in the group. Thumbs up. Zhou Nian sent me a private message. Ruai, why have you been so quiet lately? Is the pressure getting to you? I stared at the message, my finger hovering over the screen. In my past life, she never sent me a private message after I reported her. She was the first to call me a traitor in the class group. Nothing. Just focusing on studying, I replied. That's good. You're our class's top candidate for Qingbei. Don't mess up, okay? I won't. Nian Nian, I'll do well. I'll definitely do well. With a 2B pencil. 3. The afternoon before the college entrance exam, the school organized a trip to check out the exam venues. On the bus, Zhou Nian sat in the front row, holding a small speaker, and played, I Believe. Everyone sing along. Relax. The whole bus roared along, shaking the vehicle with noise. I leaned against the window in the back, watching the plane trees speeding backward outside. In my past life, I was on this same bus to check the venue. That whole ride, I was torn about whether to report it. In the end, I did. In this life, I did nothing. When checking the venue, I deliberately paused in front of the bulletin board. A notice titled, Examinee Instructions, was posted there, with Article 4 reading, Answer sheets must be filled in using 2B pencils. Use of other types of writing instruments is prohibited. If answer sheets cannot be recognized due to the use of non-specified instruments, the consequences shall be borne by the examinee. Black text on white paper, crystal clear. I stared at it for 30 seconds, memorizing every word, then I turned and walked away. Zhou Nian passed by the bulletin board, glanced at it, said nothing, and left. Maybe she saw that rule, maybe she didn't, maybe she saw it but thought she was smarter than the rules. Doesn't matter. That evening at home, my mom cooked a table full of dishes. Do well tomorrow, don't be nervous, your usual level is definitely good enough. I picked up a piece of sweet and sour spare ribs, chewing slowly. In my past life, my mom said the same thing. Later, I died. She cried for a year, and her hair turned completely white. Mom, I put down my chopsticks. After the exam, I'll take you to Shanghai for a trip. My mom paused for a moment, then smiled. All right, if you get into Fudan, I'll go to Shanghai to keep you company. I didn't say, okay, I said, definitely. After dinner, I went back to my room and checked my stationery 5 times. 2 2B pencils, sharpened, tips neither too thick nor too thin, 2 black gel pens, 1 as a backup, eraser, ruler, compass, all packed into a transparent file bag. Finally, I flipped the file bag over and tucked another 2B pencil into the inner pocket, a backup for the backup. Then I took out the fluorescent orange bubble-filling pen Zhou Nian had given me, placed it on the desk, and stared at it for a long time. The pen body was still beautiful, matte textured, glowing softly under the desk lamp. I ran my finger over the logo on the barrel, Nian's pick, custom made by Zhou Nian herself, 1 for every classmate. They said each one cost 30 yuan to make. 30 yuan, for a 0 score, totally worth it. I put the pen back in the outermost layer of my pencil case. Tomorrow, when I enter the exam hall, I'll take it out and place it on the corner of my desk. Let the proctor see it, let everyone see it, then I'll pull that 2B pencil out from the inner pocket and fill it in, stroke by stroke. For June 7th, the first day of the college entrance exam, at 6:30 in the morning, I woke up before my alarm even went off. Mom was heating milk in the kitchen, and Dad was waiting by the door to take me. Before leaving, I took a look at myself in the mirror. Dark circles were a bit heavy, but there was a very bright light in my eyes. That's the kind of light you only know how to cherish after a dead person comes back to life. The exam site entrance was packed with people, red banners, parents seeing off their kids, moms in cheongsams, dads holding up sunflowers. Zhou Nian stood in the most conspicuous spot, wearing a goose-yellow dress with a sunflower hair clip pinned in her hair. A circle of classmates from our class surrounded her, each holding a fluorescent-colored answer sheet pencil. Come on, one last group photo. Hold up your pencils. Zhou Nian raised her phone, the front camera aimed at everyone. Click, in the photo, everyone had a face full of victory. I was in the photo too. I held up that fluorescent orange pencil, smiling like a real fool. The bell for entering the exam hall rang. I was in the middle of the line, with a girl from the next class in front and Su Qing behind. Su Qing patted me on the shoulder. Ruai, good luck, you too. I didn't look back. It was my turn for the security check. I handed my document bag to the security teacher, who glanced inside through the transparent cover. The fluorescent orange pencil was right on top, visible at first glance. The security teacher's gaze paused on that pencil for a second, frowned slightly, but said nothing. Go on in. I took the document bag and walked into the exam hall. The exam room was the second classroom on the east side of the third floor, the second to last row by the window. I sat down, arranged my stationery, and placed my admission ticket and ID card on the corner of the desk. The fluorescent orange pencil, I put it in the most obvious spot on the desk. Then I pulled that 2B pencil out from the inner pocket of the document bag and set it next to the exam paper. The invigilators were one man and one woman. The man looked over 50, and the woman seemed like she just started working. The male invigilator first read out the exam rules, then specifically emphasized one point. Please, all candidates use 2B pencils to fill in the answer sheets. Other types of pens may cause the machine to fail to recognize your answers. When I heard this, my heartbeat was as steady as still water. The exam site had already made it clear, using unauthorized pens means you bear the consequences yourself. They'd done their due diligence. At 9:00 sharp, the Chinese exam began. I answered questions normally, filled in the answer sheets normally, 2B pencil, stroke by stroke, strictly by the rules. At 11:30, the exam ended. I handed in my paper and walked out of the exam hall. Quite a few people had already gathered at the entrance. Zhou Nian was squatting by the flower bed, surrounded by several classmates. I got closer before I could hear what she was saying. I really don't know. My uncle said it would be fine. How did this happen? Her eyes were red, but she hadn't cried yet. Lin Xiao stood beside her, his face ashen. Nian, don't panic. What exactly happened? Zhou Nian looked up, her voice trembling. My invigilator said fluorescent pens aren't the specified ones. If the scanner can't read them, it's on me. He said the exam site broadcast already stressed that. Lin Zhao's face went pale instantly. No way, I used a fluorescent pen too. He whipped his head around to look at me. Ruai, what about you? What did you use? I pulled the fluorescent orange pencil out of my document bag and waved it in front of them. I used this too, the one Nian handed out. Lin Xiao stared at the pencil for 2 seconds, then let out a sigh of relief. At least our whole class used the same one. If we're screwed, we're screwed together. And besides, what does one invigilator know? I smirked to myself. Screwed together, sorry, but I didn't buy the same ticket as you guys. In the afternoon math exam, same routine. I put the fluorescent pencil on the desk and answered with the 2B pencil. The next day, English and the comprehensive exam, same method. 2 days of the college entrance exam, smooth sailing. No one noticed I wasn't using the fluorescent pencil, because no one was going to lean over my answer sheet to see what I was using to fill it in. They were all too busy worrying about themselves. 5. After the college entrance exam ended, Zhou Nian sent a message in the group chat. Babes, you all worked hard. On Saturday, my family rented a villa for a graduation party. Everyone has to come. The replies in the group were sparse, not as enthusiastic as before. Some were worried about their scores. Others were still hung up on the fluorescent pencil issue, but most people still replied with, got it. On Saturday afternoon, I arrived at Zhou Nian's villa, European-style decoration, with an open-air swimming pool in the backyard and 2 long tables in the living room, all covered with sushi, pizza, and macarons. About 30-something people showed up, quite a bit fewer than usual. Zhou Nian wore a white dress with her hair down, looking like she had calmed down a lot. Ruai, sit here. She waved me over to sit beside her. I smiled and walked over, taking a seat next to her. The first half of the party was normal, eating, drinking, singing karaoke, playing board games. The atmosphere gradually heated up. Some people had a bit to drink and started talking more. The turning point came in the evening. Lin Xiao downed 2 cans of beer, his face red as a boiled shrimp. He leaned back on the sofa and suddenly said loudly, fuck, the more I think about it now, the more something feels off. I looked it up online, and I couldn't find any official info saying highlighters are easier to read than 2B pencils. The living room went dead silent. Everyone looked at Lin Xiao, then at Zhou Nian. Zhou Nian's hand, holding her juice, froze for a moment. Lin Xiao, what do you mean? I'm not targeting you. Nian. Lin Xiao sat up straight, his tone turning serious. I'm just wondering, that thing your uncle said, was it real or fake? Zhou Nian's face flushed red. My uncle worked in the grading group, he told me himself. Are you saying he's lying? I'm not saying he's lying, I'm saying, is it possible he got it wrong himself? Impossible. Zhou Nian slammed her juice cup on the table, her voice rising. He was right next to that scanner for 20 days last year. How could he get it wrong? The atmosphere in the living room grew more tense. Meng Yu stepped in to smooth things over. All right, the exams are over. What's the point of talking about this? Won't we know when the results come out? Su Qing chimed in too. Yeah, it's all over now, no use stressing about it. Lin Xiao snorted and didn't say another word, but his face clearly showed he wasn't convinced. I sat in the corner, popped a macaron into my mouth, and chewed slowly, sickeningly sweet. The party went on, but the vibe wasn't as lively as before. Around 8 in the evening, people started leaving one by one. As I was leaving, Zhou Nian ran out and called me back. Ruai. I turned around. Zhou Nian stood at the villa's entrance, the light behind her casting her face half in brightness, half in shadow. Ruai, do you think the highlighters could really be a problem? I looked at her, seriously thinking about how to answer. Nian, your uncle is in the grading group, what he said should be right. Zhou Nian's expression relaxed a bit. You think so too? Yeah, she smiled. That's good. Ruai, you've always been the steadiest person in our class. If you say it's fine, I can relax. Don't worry, it's fine. I turned and walked toward the intersection, the streetlight stretching my shadow long behind me. Fine, to you, it's a huge deal. To me, it's nothing. 6 June 23rd, the day before the results come out, the class group chat had already exploded twice. The first explosion was because someone posted a thread on Tieba. Shocking, Provincial Exam Authority official reply, no non-2B pencils allowed for answer sheet filling in Gaokao. The thread included a screenshot of a message a student left on the Provincial Exam Authority's official website. Can I use a highlighter pen for filling in the answer sheet during Gaokao? I heard from classmates that the machine recognizes fluorescent colors better. Official reply, no, for Gaokao answer sheets, you must use a 2B pencil. Using other pens that lead to unrecognizable results is the candidate's own responsibility. All candidates must strictly follow exam regulations and not trust online rumors. This thread was shared in our class group. The group was silent for 3 minutes. Then Lin Xiao sent a voice message, his voice hoarse as hell. Nian, come out and explain. Zhou Nian didn't reply immediately. After about 10 minutes, she sent a text. I really didn't know this would happen. My uncle did tell me about the highlighters, and he was so sure at the time. I had no reason to doubt him. I was just trying to help everyone. I used the highlighter myself too. If I knew it was a problem, why would I screw myself over? Lin Xiao replied instantly. Is your uncle really in the grading group? Does he even know the rules? Zhou Nian, he's in the grading group, but he's not in charge of the scanning part. Maybe he wasn't completely clear on it. The group went silent again. Then Meng Yu sent a message. So you're saying your uncle, someone not even in the scanning group, just casually spouted some outsider nonsense, and you took it as gospel, then made our whole class of over 40 people follow you and use fluorescent pens? Zhou Nian didn't reply anymore. The second explosion came on the day results were released, at 10 a.m., on June 24th, the score-checking system opened. I sat at my desk, entered my exam registration number, and clicked, Query, Chinese, 127, Math, 141, English, 138, Comprehensive Arts, 259, Total Score, 665, Provincial Ranking, Top 200. Peking University was a stretch, but Renmin University and Fudan were more than enough. My parents were waiting in the living room. When they heard my score, my mom cried. My dad pulled her into his arms, both of them red-eyed. Good, our daughter's done us proud. I smiled but didn't say a word. I picked up my phone and checked the class group chat. The group was in chaos, not the excited kind of chaos, the meltdown kind. Lin Xiao, how did I only get 56 points on the science multiple choice? I filled in every single bubble. Below that, he attached a screenshot of his score report. Total science score 198, multiple choice score 56. That meant he got less than a third of the multiple choice points. People started to realize something was wrong. Meng Yu, my math multiple choice score is ridiculously low too. I checked my answer sheet 3 times when I filled it in. Su Cheng, I only got 72 on the English objectives section. I usually score 110 plus. One message after another. Pure, gut-wrenching despair. Zhou Nian also posted, my total score is 389. I never scored below 550 in mock exams. The group went silent for a full minute, then Lin Xiao sent a message. Our whole class bombed the objective section, because we used fluorescent pens. Zhou Nian, you screwed the entire class. This time, no one defended Zhou Nian. Su Qing, my mom just hit me. She said I'm the biggest idiot in the world, not even knowing what pen to use for the college entrance exam answer sheet. Meng Yu, I'll just retake the exam, nothing more to say. Lin Xiao, retake. Your file already has this exam score. You think you'll do better next year with that mental baggage? You'll crack. The group exploded again. Everyone was venting. Everyone was falling apart. Someone started sending voice messages. Crying. Someone started at ing Zhou Nian, demanding she speak up. Zhou Nian never showed. I flipped my phone face down on the desk. My mom pushed the door open. Ruai, how did your classmates do? Not great. What happened? They used the wrong pen for the answer sheet. My mom paused, then sighed. With something as big as the college entrance exam, how could they not use the required pen? I didn't answer. The sunlight outside the window was beautiful, spilling across the desk and warming the back of my hand. I looked down at my own hand. This hand, in my past life, it was pinned to the bathroom floor tiles, nails broken off. This hand, in this life, it had pulled that 2B pencil from the hidden pocket of the file folder. A clean hand, a living hand. 3 days after the results came out, Zhou Nian's mother showed up at the school. She demanded the school take responsibility, claiming her daughter had been misled, and asked the provincial exam authority to rescan Zhou Nian's answer sheet. Teacher Li received her, smiling apologetically the whole time, but didn't say anything substantive, because there was nothing to say. The exam rules were written in black and white. Anyone using non-standard equipment bears the consequences. Zhou Nian's mother then went to the education bureau and made a scene for a whole day. The bureau's response was even more blunt. We suggest the student retake the exam. Zhou Nian's mother posted on Moments, something like, as a mother, I just wanted my daughter to get into a good university. Sharing information with her classmates was purely out of kindness. Now that things have gone wrong, everyone's blaming my daughter. She's just a victim of being misled too. The comments were split. Some comforted her, saying her daughter had good intentions but bad luck. More people were cursing. Lin Zhao's mother directly called her out in the comments. Your daughter was being kind. She used her own family's app to run tests. That's kindness. She told everyone to use fluorescent pens. But did she secretly bring a backup 2B pencil? That comment was quickly deleted, but the screenshot had already spread through the grade group. Did Zhou Nian actually bring a backup 2B pencil? No one knows, but judging by her score of 389, probably not, or maybe she did, but she didn't believe the warning and used the fluorescent pen anyway. Another week passed, and Zhou Nian posted a Moments entry visible only to close friends. Everyone is blaming me, but back then, when I told everyone to use the highlighter, no one questioned it. Not a single person. Now that something's gone wrong, it's all my fault. Is this what human nature is? Under this WeChat Moments post, Su Qing commented with a single sentence, because you're the authority, you're so rich, your uncle is on the grading committee, you always have the final say. Who dares to question you? Su Qing took a screenshot of this comment and sent it to the class group chat, with a caption, Zhou Nian, take a look for yourself. This is the human nature you wanted. The screenshot circulated in the group again. This time, no one stood by Zhou Nian. 8. In early August, the admission results came out one by one. I was admitted to the School of Journalism at Fudan University, not Tsinghua or Peking University, but it's already far beyond what I had in my past life. Our class's report card was even more tragic. There were 43 students in the class. Only 2 got into a 985 university. 23 didn't even make the cutoff for undergraduate programs. Lin Xiao scored 487 and went to a second tier university. Meng Yu scored 465 and repeated a year. Su Qing scored 502, just above the first-tier cutoff, but her application didn't work out, so she went to an ordinary first-tier university. She sent me a message, Ruai, how were we so stupid back then? I thought for a long time and replied, because none of us wanted to seem like we didn't fit in. Su Qing sent a crying emoji and then said, wishing you all the best in Shanghai. Thanks, you too.